Hey guys, you're listening to Nerdspresso, and can we believe that it's already the end of February? Time really flies when you have to release a podcast episode every week. But you know what? I am really enjoying this process of bringing you this podcast, so I hope you're enjoying it, enjoying listening to it as much as I'm enjoying producing it for you. I want to thank everyone who has supported us so far, and make sure you guys hit that like, follow, subscribe, download, whatever button you use on whatever platform you're listening on. Please just hit that button. It takes just a few seconds to just support us and everything, because by doing so, you give us the ability to bring you a better podcast episode each week. But I hope you're enjoying it so far. And I hope you enjoyed last week's episode. It was a really fun one. Cress was just a joy to talk to. But this week we are sitting down with a wonderful person. Her name is Emily J. Sampson, and she is a freelance artist here in Atlanta. And I love her art so much. And if you get a chance, go look at her website, because she has some really adorable comic stuff and D&D art, and it's so adorable, and we should all support her in whatever way possible. But we talk about just life as an artist, and we are trying out new coffee from a new sponsor in this episode, which I'm super excited about. And it's a fun conversation, and we just really talk about how much Emily enjoys being a freelance artist and finally getting to do the things she loves. But we also talk about the important side of having a stay-at-home career and what it takes to be a successful artist, not only in the skill of it, but also in the business side. So I really hope you enjoy this episode. Grab your drink of choice, your coffee, your tea, and sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Hey guys, I'm so excited to introduce our new sponsor this week, Geek Grind Coffee. Geek Grind Coffee is run by an amazing Colombian American family with their own coffee farms down in the Colombian mountains. They grow, harvest, and package their coffee in Colombia before sending it to the States, which gives their coffee a fresher taste. They have reach in coffee shops, game stores, conventions, and even some college campuses. They have a hard focus on child education and have put women in the forefront of their business in every aspect. Their current adventure series features the best of the D&D world and is available in bags or even K-Cups. Head over to geekgrindcoffee.com to grab your bag of coffee today. So it's, like I just said, it's so quiet up here that I'm about to be so loud to get this started. But hi, how are you?
I am good.
You're doing okay.
Aside from the neck thing.
Yes. Is it like a kink in the neck? Is it?
I don't know. I woke up and it felt stiff, and then I was I tried to look the other direction.
That's the worst.
Shooting pain. So
that's the worst.
Probably a pinched nerve, but it's all right.
Well, I hope it unpinches as soon as possible for you.
It's an excuse to take a break from work.
Yes, because is that the side that you use? Are you left-handed?
No, I'm right-handed, but it's still difficult.
It's a reason.
Yeah.
To just I'll just take the day.
Yeah, today's my day, and I can do that.
Yeah. So I am here with. Is it Emily J. Sampson? Sampson.
Yes.
But do you prefer Emily J. or just Emily Sampson?
That's what I go by for my business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because my business name is EJS Creations.
Yes.
And so when I'm doing business stuff, I'm like, Emily J. Sampson, to give it a more professional feel.
Or EJ Sampson is so cool.
I don't know so much about EJ.
But I was looking up your website and stuff last night, and so you are the artist behind the D&D creatures.
I have some of your magnets at
Oh,
home.
really?
And I texted my fiance, and I was like,
That's so crazy.
Emily is the one that did the D&D magnets that we have on the fridge. I'm so excited to get to interview her now.
What a small world.
It is such a small world, because the owl bear is one of my favorites.
Oh, yay.
He's so cute. And
he's one of my favorites, too. I thought he would be more popular than the other ones, but for whatever reason, the Beholder is everybody's favorite.
Derp Shark is also really cute, too.
Yeah, Derp Shark was a
really
creation of mine from my days at SCAD.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those listening, I went to SCAD for my master's in sequential art, which is a fancy term for comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a lot of really cool people there and had a lot of really great experiences.
Cool.
And I don't regret any of it aside from, the money.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think anybody who goes to art school would agree with me.
My fiance went to art school, and he's like, so those student loans?
Yeah,
they're still there.
I've kind of resolved myself to the fact that I'm going to be paying those off the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And maybe even beyond that. So,
yeah.
Like, my ghost is going to be paying these loans off, and that's okay. So,
student loans, they're the bane of our existence.
But,
so,
yeah.
I was very fortunate to only do 2 years of community college, and I was on scholarship for all of it.
That's really great.
Yeah. I was on a theater scholarship and a jazz band scholarship. And I was like, I don't feel the need to do more than 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't miss school. I'm done.
Yeah.
My brother, on the other hand, is a pilot, and he went to, flight school and got his private, and he's the one that's swimming and student loans and all of that. So
yeah, I'm an addict to learning.
Yeah.
If I'm not learning a new skill or, reading a new book or something like that, I get a little stir crazy.
That's so interesting.
So after I went through my undergrad, I was like, I need more. I need more. And so it's like, I was talking to my counselor, and he is like, well, you like comics, right? I seem to remember you like comics. I'm like, yeah, but what can I do about that? And it's like, well, there's a whole degree for that at SCAD. I'm like, what? and did not care about the money.
Yeah.
I was just like, I have to go.
I have to learn about this.
So
but that must be like nourishment to the soul for you to just, like you said, to just be constantly wanting to learn new things.
Yeah. And, for me, it was just, the experience was worth it.
Yeah. And sometimes that's what you need. You need to go and you need to experience those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, your art is so amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's so adorable. And I am so happy that I have some of your art at home, and I didn't even realize it until yesterday.
That's wild. Yeah,
I don't even remember where we got it.
Probably a convention somewhere.
Probably, or does Wizards send out?
No, I'm not affiliated. I'm not affiliated with Wizards of the Coast. Everybody. But if they want to offer me a job,
I think they're always looking for artists.
I am a freelance artist, so I've done contract work for similar companies. I did some work for Privateer Press.
Okay.
Designing some chibi pins.
Okay.
For some of their new characters.
Cool.
From their games, and so that was a great experience. And then I did some artwork for a game called Widget Ridge, which got funded on Kickstarter, and so now you can go to your local game shop and buy Widget Ridge and maybe see some of my artwork.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was really fun. But yeah, I've only been doing local conventions and art shows and events and stuff for the past year.
Were you at MomoCon?
So, yeah, we were.
Okay.
We were at MomoCon, and that's a wild story. So let me delve into that.
Yes, please delve into all of the stories you want to delve into, please.
So let's rewind to late 2018.
Okay.
Emily in 2018 was working as a manager at a local t-shirt company. And I had been hired originally in 2015 as a designer there.
Okay.
Which was really great for me because, you know, it was actually using my degree.
Right.
And I was so good at my job that within like a year, I was offered a management position at a new store that they were opening.
Amazing.
And I was like, cool, it comes with a quote-unquote pay raise and added bonuses, again, quote-unquote. And, you know, it's an opportunity, is what I saw it as. And I'm not one to pass up opportunities, and so I took this job, and I was miserable.
No.
So from like late 2016 on, I like trudged through management, and it was a t-shirt printing company, but it was also still retail. Yeah. And you get those same sort of clients, and it was just kind of like soul-sucking. And it wasn't the worst job I've ever had. But
so did you have to give up the artistic side of it to move into the
basically. I still did a little bit of design work, but not as much. And it wasn't super great for me. Like, it wasn't fulfilling. And because I was doing management stuff, I was super drained. At the end of the day, I would have to get up early and go to, like, you know, networking meetings with all of these other business people, and I felt so out of place because I was like, I work at a t-shirt company and I like anime. and there are all these people like wearing suits and ties and stuff.
Do any of you guys like anime? Please, somebody.
So I was just like, I don't belong here. Like, there was just that voice screaming in my head the whole time. I'm like, I don't belong here. This is not where I'm supposed to be. And it's not like I was terrible at my job, and it's not like I absolutely hated it. It's just that it wasn't where I was meant to be.
Your soul needed more.
And I kind of stuck with it for a little while because I was like, if I can just learn enough and get the shop, because it was a new shop in a good place to where they don't need me anymore, then I can quit. And so, like, I had started making plans in 2018 to quit in April of 2019, because then it would have been a full 4 years working for the company. Yeah. And my friend Sarah, who I went to SCAD with and had several classes with, and she's another local artist. She's amazing, and if you get a chance, you should talk to her. Because
yes, absolutely.
She's a brilliant artist and really, really fantastic. But I have to remember to project into the microphone.
You're totally fine. You're totally fine.
But she approached me because she had just recently moved into the Atlanta area from Augusta, and she was like, hey, I'm doing these anniversary pin designs for MomoCon, and they offered me either cash or a table in Artist Alley. And I took the table, but I realized quickly that I don't have a whole lot of stuff to sell, and I remembered that you are trying to move into that sort of area, so do you want to, like, co-table with me at MomoCon? And I'm like, yes! So, like, I was like, okay, well, I can do this. I can move all of my plans up a little bit. And so I was like, but I feel bad because it's really your table. You did all the work to earn this table. So, like, maybe we should collaborate on stuff. And so...
Sorry, I'm having an epiphany of MomoCon. So continue your story, and then I'll...
So I was like, what if we worked together on some pieces that we could sell like as a separate thing. Like you could have your half of the table, I could have mine, and then in the middle we have our collaborative stuff. And she's like, that's brilliant. What do we have in common? And I'm like, well, we both like D&D.
Mm-hmm.
So we started planning out some D&D illustrations.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, we should make pins because enamel pins are really popular right now.
This goes from my epiphany, like everything is clicking into place.
and we're like, what if we had these pins that stacked and you could rep your character alignment? Yep. And we started getting really excited and like everything started steamrolling and we're like, what if we did this? What if we did that? And then we started like coming up with all this other merchandise that we could start doing, and then we came up with a name, and then we're like, we should have it be like a D&D shop.
Yes.
Like a little, shop that you would find, you would go to an NPC in
yes.
D&D and like start buying merchandise and stuff, and we got so excited that it like exploded, and so long story short, we created the brand Flint and Feather, and
love it.
We have these personas that we put on when we table for Flint and Feather, where she's Flint, a fire
Genasi?
Genasi. I always forget.
It's okay.
Because I've never played that race before.
Genasis are fun.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Here.
Yeah.
And I'm a druid Aarakocra named Feather.
Love that.
And so I'm like this peacock lady. Yes. And so we get all dressed up and we like set up our table like it's a little old timey shop, and then we have this really cool wooden sign that our friend made for us. And we were really excited about it, but we just weren't prepared for the reception that we got.
Yeah.
It was insane. We couldn't believe it. Like, we debuted at MomoCon.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working really hard on all of our stuff for the previous 2 months, and we knew like our stuff was good, but we didn't realize how crazy people would go for it. And people were like actively coming up to us and be like, my friend told me that I had to come and see your booth. They said to look for the Flint and Feather sign.
Oh
and,
my
like,
gosh.
People were coming up to us and like getting really, really excited and like telling their stories about their characters.
That's amazing.
And like we would hand out, I had these like little, the little chicks, the little fluffy chicks that you get around Easter.
Yes.
I would hand out one of those with each purchase because I had like rated Michael's of them because they had a sale.
Because it was like just post Easter.
Yeah, and so like they had all these little pink chicks on sale, and I was like, I'm buying all of them, and so I gave one to every customer, and like it was hilarious because people would spend like $30, $50, $100 on merchandise, and then I'd be like, oh, but wait, here is a little companion to join you on your adventures, and they would freak out.
It's always that small extra little detail that everyone like loses their minds over.
Yeah, and they would like just like take pictures of these little chicks and like share them on Instagram and tag us, and it was just like so incredible. Cute. And we ended up like making bank at
That's
MomoCon,
amazing.
and
I'm so happy that it was so successful for you, because sometimes conventions, while it's good for the quote quote exposure, sometimes like the table doesn't do as well as you want it to, but you're like, at least we got our name out there, it's fine. But so my epiphany was, we were walking around this past MomoCon, and we came by your table, and we had my fiance's daughter with us, and we were just like, and it was the alignment pins that really caught my attention of, oh my gosh, these are so cool. Of you can stack them, and they have like the chaotic good, chaotic neutral, and you can just stack and do and all of that. And then we found your art at the same table, and I think that's where we got the magnets. And
I'm starting to remember.
Yes,
now. I think I remember.
I think I was dressed as casual Captain Marvel in the Nine Inch Nails shirt.
Yes. And I remember you said you had a daughter.
Yes.
And she was dressed up as something.
Was she dressed as her cat person at that point?
I can't
I
remember.
think that
but I remember.
she was either dressed as her cat person, and she had like cat leggings on and pink cowboy boots, and she had this really obnoxious like cat mascot head. Or she was dressed as her My Little Pony.
I think it was the My Little Pony.
My Little Pony.
Because I remember some kid coming by and dressed as like either Applejack or something, and I was like, that is so precious.
So her My Little Pony, my fiance ran a My Little Pony D&D game for us.
Yes.
And so
I remember you telling
pony
the story.
was her character. Her name is Firebolt. She is yellow with orange and yellow wings with an orange tail, and she gets so into it. And
that's it. I do remember.
Yes. It's a small world.
Crazy. But that's Atlanta.
Yes, it is.
I'm discovering
but we got one of the really long bags. I think it had the unicorn on it.
Yeah. So I have
the
bubble
one
bear
of those, but I think, like I said, I think it has the unicorn on it.
Yeah.
So, and it's like in her room, and like pieces are just falling into place right now. So,
that's so excellent.
It makes me so happy to realize that I've actually like supported your art.
That makes me so happy too. Like, I'll randomly run. That's the thing, is like I'll randomly run into people at other events where they're like, oh, I've seen your stuff, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing, was I was looking at your website and I was like, oh, Dustin, she's the one that did the magnets.
That's so cool.
And he was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Oh,
and it made me even more excited to sit down with you today.
Oh, yay.
So I was
warms
like, yay.
my heart. Because, like, that's really why I do, like, what I do. And it's what keeps me going every day is, like, you know, when I decided to just quit my job and go full on freelance, I was like, I just want to make people as happy about stuff as I am.
Yeah.
Like I just want to spread joy and love and like,
because art,
sparkly glittery stuff.
Art is a way of sharing your soul and connecting with people. Yeah. And especially like people like me, like I go to conventions to get art a lot of the time. And when I find those pieces that really just like speak to me, it just warms my heart, and I'm just like, I have to have one of your pieces. I have to. And so to know that I actually have some of your art in my house makes me so happy.
Excellent. Yeah, and I feel like I feel like it's pretty obvious that I enjoy what I do when people look at my art, because like, and one of the best compliments I've gotten was from a friend years and years ago about my art, and he said, Emily, you draw stupid things so well. You do!
Like Derp Shark. Derp Shark is the cutest creation.
Thank you so much. Because yes, I make it a point to draw things as derpy and ridiculous as like Derp Shark or the owl bear that just like has these big derpy eyes.
Yes, he's so cute.
And I have fun doing it, and I just like I don't really care so much that I make money off of it. It's a bonus, you know, like that I can do something like this and people will actually pay for it.
But it's the experience that people get with your art.
When I see somebody like start crying when they see a portrait that I made of, you know, like their dog or, you know, their boyfriend or something like that, that's the reward for me. It's like, I start getting emotional too. Like, cause like, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I also, work at Gigabyte's Cafe.
Okay. I don't think
every Thursday I demo games for them.
Okay.
Board games.
That's
and,
really
like,
cool.
I don't really consider that as a part-time job even.
Yeah.
Because it's just me having fun. And, like, going and
that's
teaching
so
people.
Cool.
But I'm also their contract artist.
Yeah.
And so I've done like graphic design work and logo designs and
that's
awesome. Like, promotional art for them and stuff like that. But one thing that they have in their store is a wall of champions. Yeah. And what it is they will have these people who are so dedicated to a certain game that they come out and basically champion it. You know, like they drum up interest in it. They run events. They like try and get people to come out and to the store and do stuff. And so the store is like, well, you're making money for us.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting anything in return, but you're still showing up and you're running these events and you're doing stuff for the store. So we want to reward you. And so they have a wall of champions where they secretly contact me and they're like, our champion this month is so-and-so and this is the game that they run. And so we want you to make a portrait of them as like, for example, like if they run Star Wars Armada or X-Wing or something like that. But like, can you make this character as a Jedi or an X-Wing pilot? Cool. And so like I'll make this portrait in the person's likeness, but they're dressed as that, and it's like sort of, you know, like the old timey like portraits where they're like getting
That's so cool. Okay, and now I feel like I need to actually commission a piece from you of either my D&D character or something. Or
I love those commissions. So that is my favorite thing, is doing pet portraits and D&D characters.
Oh my gosh.
That's my thing to do.
I love that. I might also need to commission a portrait of my dog from you, because our dog cosplays. Oh, she does. She's a Labrador Beagle mix, and so she looks like a yellow lab, but she's beagle size, and she's the most precious being on this earth. And so one of her cosplays that she does is Crypto, the super dog.
Oh my god.
She's done a crypto photo shoot and it turned out so amazing. That's excellent. And then my favorite costume that I made for her, that I was just like, she has to do it. She has to do it, was Underdog. Yeah. And so for Halloween 2 years ago, she dressed up as Underdog, and she won the pet costume contest at our local Petco.
That's so excellent.
And now we're regulars in there, and they love her.
Oh my god, that's excellent.
So
yeah, I love dogs and cats and
all
of pets.
All of the pets.
In case you didn't already know this about me,
yes,
I love animals.
I'm just waiting for your cat to show up at some point during this.
She'll probably scratch at the door since you closed it, because she hates closed doors, as most cats do.
She's like, I should be allowed everywhere,
especially in the office. She's like, she's my familiar, basically, is like, she's always here when I'm working, and she reminds me when I have to eat.
Yes.
Because, like, I'm on a schedule, and if I'm, like, any minute behind, she will come in and yell at me.
So, like, that's good, because, you know, sometimes when we get in the creative zone, you kind of forget to do other things.
Yeah, and working from home, it's especially hard because like, there's nobody else here during the day to remind me.
And it's easy to lose track of time, and you're like, oh, it's 5 o'clock and I haven't eaten at all today. Yeah. That's not good.
And that's the other thing I love about this, is like, I have the ability to change my schedule whenever I want. Yeah. And like, I can tell myself, okay, well, I'm going to have lunch early. And I'm gonna I'm gonna eat this. And like, when I was a manager, that wasn't the case. Yeah. Like, I would have lunches at 3 p.m. and I would get interrupted every 5 minutes because I'm the manager, and that's how it happens. Yep. So like, it's so freeing being able to do this full time, and it's so like, I can't say enough how fulfilling it is. That's because like, this is, so it's been exactly a year. Aww. Plus a couple of days since my first day freelancing.
That's amazing.
So, I do a thing on my artist page for anybody that follows me. Yeah. And it's called Monday Morning Motivation. And so I get up on Monday mornings and I live stream a different topic.
That's cool.
To kind of inspire people and motivate them to keep going and stuff, because I'm like, that's my thing, is like, this isn't my first rodeo trying to freelance, and like, kind of rewinding to back when you were like, you know, don't expect a whole lot from tabling at conventions and stuff. Like, I would try to when I first did freelance, and I did freelance a couple of times before this. Yeah. And both times I was just like completely unprepared. Yeah. And I didn't have a very good business sense. I didn't know the difference between markup and margin.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Oops, sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't really know how to like price myself or market myself or really even look up what events to go to or to let, what were appropriate, merchandising, stuff like that. I just didn't know. Like, I would be hand making sketchbooks that would take me, you know, like 10 hours to make, and I would sell them for $10. And I'm like,
gosh.
And I didn't realize what I was doing, you know, and I scream at all of my artist friends whenever I see them pricing themselves too low. I'm like, don't do it.
Don't do it. So, there's a part of you, because I do, like, I would, for a while I was doing costume commissions, and there's a part of you that's like, I want you to, like, buy my stuff so bad.
And that's the big trap, is a lot of people fall into that trap because they're like, well, if I price myself too high, nobody will buy my stuff. Yeah. But here's the thing that I keep telling people about that is you want to control your clients. You don't want your clients to control you. Yeah. And the higher you price your stuff, like the more reasonably you price your stuff, the more people will value it. Yes. And the people that understand the value of your art are going to be more willing to pay that price. Yes. Whereas if you price it too low, people will just like swarm you. Yep. And you'll get really horrible clients that will ask you for 20 revisions and, you know, like keep pushing back or not pay you at all. Yeah. And then the other side of that too is that think of it as, do you want 5 big commissions in a month that will pay all your bills? Or do you want to stretch yourself thin over 25 commissions that will just barely cover your expenses? And I will always go for the 5 big commissions because like that means more free time for me to work on other stuff that I can then sell. Right. As opposed to losing all this energy on crappy clients. Right. And that's the biggest lesson that I want people to learn.
I'm so happy we're having this conversation. So, because
it drives me nuts.
Yeah, and know your worth. Like, hold yourself to a standard, like a reasonable standard. Yeah. Don't overprice yourself thinking that your stuff is worth more than it actually is, also. But, you know your value. Know the value of your time and of your skill and all of that. And have standards.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, you know.
And it's another thing if you, like, live in another country and the prices of things are different and, like, you know, the cost of living is different. Like, that's completely different. Yeah. But, like, if you're living in the United States and you spend, like, let's say 20 hours knitting or crocheting a blanket and you are selling it for $30, that makes no sense. No. Because you are actively losing money on materials and
well, you're barely covering your materials
and like
with that price.
One of my early Monday morning motivation videos was on how to price yourself and like thinking of it as an actual job. Yep. Like, how much do you want to get paid hourly for this? Because you shouldn't be getting paid less than, like, $10 to $15 an hour for it. And that's just, like, the pay per hour. Yeah. What materials are you using on this?
Yes, exactly.
Like, and then you have to cover other expenses as well. So I always tell people to add on a little bit more than what they think they would need. Yep. Because, like, it's important to have that cushion. If somebody comes and commissions me for something and I've only accounted for the minimum time I would need to work on a project and then they ask for a bunch of revisions on it, then I'm starting to lose money. So it's important to know how to price yourself and like, what your time is worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you have a degree and you have student loans. That gives you the experience. Yeah. And if somebody pushes back on you, just say, well, I'm sorry, these are my rates. Yeah.
This is my job.
I have studied this, and this is my craft. So if you would like to pay for a commission. And I always give people an option too. I'm like, okay, well, if you have a budget, here's what I can do to fit your budget.
Right.
Otherwise, oh my goodness.
You're good. You're totally good.
Otherwise, like.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're selling yourself short.
Yeah.
And, like, how do you live? How are you supposed to live when you're doing a job that you should be getting paid for properly, but you're not allowing yourself to be paid properly?
Exactly.
So, you have to treat it like the job that it is.
And like it gets me so riled up every time somebody brings this
But it's
up.
conversations that need to happen. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation because this podcast, like, I want to showcase, awesome nerdy people that have awesome nerdy jobs. And you're an awesome nerdy artist and stuff like that. But this is the side of it that people need to also realize that, yes, this is your job and
it's still a job.
It is still a job.
I still need to eat. I still need to pay my bills.
Exactly.
And then there are expenses for my job, like, making the merchandise that I sell.
Yep.
Traveling to conventions. Like paying for supplies like, updates to my computer.
Yep.
Pantone books, which are an important part of like designing stuff. And like just all these things that people don't really take into account. They just kind of think, like, I say, oh yeah, I'm an artist, and they're like, oh, that must be fun. I'm like, yeah, but it's still work. Yeah. Because like half of my job is not even doing art. It's doing research on new products and, price comparisons. It's doing marketing. It's managing social media. Yep. It's writing contracts. Yep. Which, if you're an artist,
do a contract.
Make sure you have contracts.
Yes.
Can't stress that enough. When I first started freelancing, not last year, but before that, I didn't have contracts, and it screwed me over really badly. I'm trying to watch yourself. My language. Yeah. Oh no, go for it. Like, you do not need to hold back. So, I have a contract that I basically copy paste and send to every single customer. Yep. Every client. No matter what.
So that you protect yourself.
$25 sketch, they still have to sign a contract because I still want to get paid. Yep. And if you don't pay me, then absolutely that's a problem. And so, if you feel weird about making a contract for stuff like that, there are tons of resources online. I can't stress enough. There are so many free resources for artists out there that if you just take the time to Google it, take half an hour to an hour one day, and just look up how to write a contract, what your legal rights are, basically, and just do the research.
It doesn't have to be anything super fancy, but you have to have that written binding agreement of, you agreed to this, it's in writing, you signed this. Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not going to hold up in some courts, which is unfortunate, but it's a way of getting them to take you seriously.
Yeah, and it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So,
the legal stuff is, that's stuff that I didn't know the first time around, and it just, I had an internship, an unpaid internship right out of SCAD, and they had advertised on the SCAD job portal, so I thought they were legit, and they seemed legit, but then it was me and a bunch of other artists across the country that were fresh out of college and grad school, and we just wanted in the industry. Yep. And I'm debating whether I want to call this person out. But if you see the name Ray Jelly, run. Okay. Because it's a scam. Beware. He's tried to start a bunch of events and take people's money, and then not, like, the event gets canceled and nobody gets their money back.
Wow.
And oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna. The same thing happened with us artists. Is we signed these contracts saying that we were going to get paid once they started selling tickets for the event, and then they just kept pushing the dates back, and they had us doing data mining and cold calls and cold emails and, like, not work that we signed up for, or thought that we were signing up for. And then I got fed up with it because I was taking time off my actual paying jobs to do this, and I said, hey, I just want to know when we're going to start selling these tickets, because you said it was going to be last week, and then you said it was getting pushed back to this week, and now it's getting pushed back again, and I really need to know when I'm going to get paid for this, because I'm spending a lot of time on it and not working.
Yeah.
And then they fired me.
Yeah.
They sent me a letter saying they were terminating my position, that I wasn't needed, that I wasn't doing the work that I was supposed to be doing. And I'm like, but I am.
But I am.
And, like, I had done all these illustrations for them and everything, which they still used on their website.
Wow. What dicks. Yeah.
So that was an eye-opening experience for me. And I like, reported it to SCAD after the fact and said, hey, I don't know if this is something that you know about, but they said we will not let them post on the job portal anymore. That is unacceptable.
That's good.
So at least they knew that, but, like, it's
at least you were able to get to and let SCAD know, and they were like, thank you for letting us know. We will make sure this, at least through us, doesn't happen again. Yeah.
But it still, like, sits heavy in my mind. And, like, there's still always going to be that voice in the back of my head that's like, why did you even do that? What, there's so much regret, but I'm like, I'm trying to live my life with no regrets.
It's a
like,
learning
it
experience.
was a learning experience. And so I'm trying to get as much out of that as possible so that, like, it doesn't happen again. Yep. And, at least others can hear from my experience and know not to do that sort of thing. So look for red flags and read the contracts. Make sure you have, like, there are a lot of lawyers out there that will just read contracts for you for free. Yeah. They don't have to, like, give you legal advice or anything. They'll read it for free and tell you whether or not, like, it's a good contract. Yeah. And you should take advantage of that. Yeah. Like, they're absolutely, like, join artist guilds, or there are some unions out there that will take artists, which I didn't know about until recently. Okay. So that's really cool. Yeah. Do some research on that if you're an artist, and, like, see if there's a union that will accept you, because that is really worth it. Yeah. Especially if you start getting big clients that don't pay you. Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna segue into some fun stuff. So we are drinking a new sponsor's coffee today. This is the first of their coffee that I've gotten to use on the podcast. They are a company called Geek Grind, and we are drinking their Frost Giant cold brew blend. It's really good. It's so good. So Geek Grind is a Colombian American family that actually has their own like coffee farm in Colombia. That's awesome. And they like pick the coffee, they process the coffee, they package, they do all of it in Colombia and then ship it so that it's fresher, instead of just picking everything, shipping it here, and then it's already like losing its touch. That's really cool. And it's 100% Colombian coffee, which is one of my favorite blends. Yeah. I love Colombian coffee so much. And their artwork for their packaging, I was so really dope. Admiring that artwork. I love it. So, but all of our coffee, one of the things I love about, especially my coffee sponsors, is
they really seek out artists to help do their packaging artwork and stuff. So, hey guys, to Geek Grind and Found Familiar and Smugglers, if you need an artist,
wink, wink, nudge,
wink,
nudge.
wink, Emily's awesome. So,
yeah, I would love to do artwork for geeky companies like
yes,
that. That'd be
and
fantastic.
you love coffee too.
I do.
So,
love coffee.
You know,
I'm probably not as much a coffee connoisseur as most people are,
but it's okay.
I'm not like, I don't have a coffee IV running through my veins every time I work, which is fortunate. But yeah, like I'm like I told you earlier, I'm pretty basic. I usually just buy the Starbucks frappuccinos in bulk and then drink those every day.
And you're a caramel person, right?
I do like caramel macchiatos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
caramel
like,
macchiatos
or salted
really good.
caramel drinks, anything like with caramel in it.
Yes.
Like it's weird. I don't like caramel on its own,
but mixed with coffee.
Like in coffee, that is delicious.
It's so good.
It's really good.
So, but yeah, hopefully we can get you hooked up with some of our coffee companies if they need an artist.
That'd be great.
Because I know a couple of them are starting like their next round of packaging stuff.
Yeah.
So, hey guys.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Smuggler's Coffee. We've had some really delicious coffees from Smuggler's. Smuggler's makes their coffee unique by adding barrel aging techniques to their roasts. They find barrels from some of the best breweries in their area, and barrel aging adds the flavors that were trapped in those barrels to the beans without any trace of the alcohol. It's a unique bean that makes an amazing cup of coffee in the morning or that perfect after-dinner dessert coffee. They have fun and crazy artwork gracing their packaging with themes from D&D, Star Wars, music, and more. Whether you like sugar and cream in your coffee, you like a little Irish jig in your mug, or you like to drink your coffee as black as your soul, they've got the perfect cup of coffee for you. Head over to store.smugglerscoffee.com to find your perfect brew of coffee today. This episode is sponsored by Found Familiar. Found Familiar is a company that not only brings you amazing coffee, but believes in supporting creators. They team up with different artists and cosplayers from around the world to bring you specialty grade coffee that celebrates the creativity sparked by Dungeons & Dragons and other TTRPGs. Found Familiar aims to do more than just provide caffeine for your groggy mornings and late night sessions. They believe in using their platform to recognize the people that share the same passions. People that create stories, create characters, and create art. They showcase fantasy artwork and photos on their coffee, and that's why you'll never see those pieces anywhere without credit to the creators. They just released some new coffees on their website, so make sure you go check it out. You can head over to foundfamiliar.com and use Nerdspresso, NERDSPRESSO, for 10% off your coffee order today.
So did you always want to be an artist, or
yes,
like from the time you were a wee little babe?
From one of my earliest memories is my mom worked at a library, and like a lot of times during the summer, my dad would be off at work, and so my mom would take me and my sister to the library with her, and we would just kind of like
hang out,
do whatever in the library, and I would go straight for the Lee J. Ames How to Draw books in the kids section. It's like how to draw monsters, how to draw animals, how to draw like superheroes and stuff like that. And I would just like spend time copying onto like the paper that the library would like start recycling. And so
oh my gosh,
like I was just like hunkered down by my mom's desk in the back, just drawing all day.
Just drawing.
And I remember my mom being really worried about me for a while because my family is conservative Christian, and
I feel you
I was
on that.
born and raised, and And so I was really into dragons.
Yeah.
As a kid. And I would draw, like, all of these crazy dragons and demon creatures and stuff, like things with bat wings and horns.
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, oh, that's good.
That's nice, honey.
Why don't you draw a nice angel? Like, stuff like that. So, I'm sorry to my mother for putting her through that. When I was a kid. I draw much cuter things now than I did as a kid. But
just cuter monsters and dragons and things with bat wings.
They're still pretty crazy. They're still pretty crazy, but, like, at least they're adorable.
Yes. No, I feel you on that. I grew up a conservative Christian. Like, I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter. I wasn't allowed. Yeah. I wasn't even really allowed to watch, like, Power Rangers or Pokemon or anything like that.
I remember our church had a sermon about Pokemon.
Oh, really? And so I, like, when I was in high school, I snuck reading the Harry Potter books and watching the movies. And after I know, right? After I graduated, like 2 or 3 years after I graduated, my mom found out that I, like, read Harry Potter and stuff, and she got so mad at me. I was like, Mom, you have sat here with me recently, and we've watched, like, Vampire Diaries, Twilight, like gory vampire stuff, and you're getting mad about Harry Potter.
But it's teaching people witchcraft.
Is it, though?
It's real witchcraft.
Yes.
No.
The closest I've gotten to witchcraft is going to Harry Potter World and waving around my interactive wand.
Yeah. I couldn't get it to work for me. I was so upset.
It's okay. My fiance, because we had the kids with us, and so whenever it wouldn't work, he would, like, look around and he would find the sensor, and he'd be like, okay, so we're gonna point it up here, and then we're gonna do it like this. And it would typically work.
Yeah.
Magic.
I love Harry Potter. Like, Harry Potter and Pokemon and all that stuff that, like, when I was a kid was not good. Yeah. Is was now my fandom.
Yes.
So, like, I, D&D and Magic the Gathering especially, I got really, really super into about a decade ago.
Yeah.
Like, it was really the art that got me into it. And that's
Magic the Gathering alone, their art is gorgeous.
I was like, wow, this is so cool. But I remember my mom telling me that Magic the Gathering is bad.
Yeah.
So I was, like, conflicted. And, like, now it's, like, just an integral part of me as a person.
It's
and,
so
like,
amazing.
in my life. And, like, I got really into board gaming and stuff like that when I was in college. And especially in grad school, I would have board game nights, and we would play Magic and other board games like Catan. And
I was about to say, what's your favorite board game?
Currently, I'm gonna do a humble brag here,
okay?
Because I'm really into deck builders.
Okay.
And one of my favorite deck builders is Star Realms.
Okay.
And Dragon Con a couple of years back. I think it's like 3 years back now. I entered into a Star Realms tournament.
Yeah.
And I was going through a really rough time that year, and I was, like, feeling super down about myself, and so I really needed this win, and I won the whole tournament.
Oh my gosh.
And I went undefeated. Apparently I was the first person to go undefeated. I was the first woman to win one of their Legends tournaments.
Wow.
And one of the prizes you get is your likeness on a card in the game. And so...
That's amazing!
And so I have a card in the game
of
that
you.
is me. And I got to choose the name and the color combination.
That's
and, like,
amazing.
So... That's my, like,
that's so
5
cool.
minutes of fame.
That's so cool.
And it's really, and I'm usually, like, not vocal about it, because it's, like, to me, it was just a thing that I did.
Yeah.
And, like, I won one tournament, and, you know, like, plenty of people have beaten me at the game. You know, it's not like I'm a professional at this game or anything.
But it was a really cool moment.
But it was something I needed at the time, and it felt really good. And, like, now whenever I go and play other tournaments, some of the staff will like run up to me with the card and a pen, and they'll be like, "Can you sign my card?"
My goodness.
And I'm, like, in the middle of a game with an opponent, and the opponent's like, "Wait, what?
What's happening?"
And they're like, "You're on a card." Oh no. I'm like, "Don't worry, you'll probably win. It's fine."
I haven't played this game in so long.
But yeah, so that's a cool thing about
that is
me
really
that,
cool.
like, some people know and some people don't know.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah. So if you get a chance to play Star Realms, it's a really easy game to learn, really quick. It's like a 2-player game if you get the core set, and then you can get expansions to make it multiplayer, and it's really, really fun. They have an app too, which is really cheap. It's like one of the cheapest games you can play on your phone.
Cool.
So, yeah, highly recommend. Not just because I have a card in it, but...
Have you played Dungeon Mayhem?
Funny you should mention that, because I am going to be demoing that game at the end of this month. So I'm really excited about that.
Have you played it at all?
No.
Okay, so Dungeon Mayhem it's so much fun. The first expansion has come out, but it's basically speed round D&D on crack, and you literally, the cards are the cutest. And it's one
I
of,
was
like,
looking at the
we
art.
learned
Oh my
we
God.
learned how to play it, and we were like, this is the greatest, like, quick card game ever, because you have the original pack has 4 classes. You have the paladin, the rogue, the sorcerer, and the barbarian, and you basically just go around and you just slap cards down, and you can, like, hit people, or there's cards you can, like, steal people's abilities, and it's D&D on crack speed round, and it's so much fun. And the expansion came out, and I think it added 2 more classes, but the art is Minsk and Boo from Baldur's Gate.
Amazing.
And so it's, like, the kids love it because they literally, but there's, like, hard feelings. Because you have to target people. And just, sorry, I'm going to hit you for, like, 3 points.
That's excellent.
Sorry, it's so much fun.
I'm really excited to learn it and be able to play that.
It's super easy to learn, and it's an easy, like, quick game. If you just need something fun to do, you can just, like, whip it out and just play a couple rounds, and it's super quick and fast, and
that's awesome.
High energy, and you're just, like, slapping down cards, but I'm gonna steal like this, and we get to trade things, and I was like, no, why would you do that? And it's one of our favorites.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn the tables.
Oh, I haven't had the tables turned on me yet. All right.
What got you into what's your earliest memory of D&D? Like, when did you get into it? What got you into it?
Okay.
And what is your preferred, like, what's your class?
Okay. So.
This is like how you get to know people.
Yes, exactly.
It tells you a lot about somebody.
I have always been a comic book nerd. Mm-hmm. So Batman was always my thing. Like, from my earliest memories, my brother and I were always separated into Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
I was Batman, he was Superman. I had the Bruce Timm Batman action figures back when the new Batman Adventures had come out, and they had all the different types of Batman. He had different color suits and gadgets and stuff. And then, like, I got into Star Wars and, like, all sorts of stuff, but it was always Batman growing up. And then I was aware of D&D kind of way later, and I was aware of magic and stuff like that, but like we talked about, I also grew up in a very conservative Christian house. So that and I was also in a small town, and I'm sure I've come to find my brother's friends that he went to high school with, they all play D&D. So I'm sure there was people playing D&D at my high school. I just wasn't really aware of it. But I didn't become like fully aware and immersed into it until I started dating my fiance 4 years ago, and he was like, yeah, I play D&D, I LARP, I cosplay, I do all of this, and I'm like, I like Batman and comics, but you're like a way more hardcore nerd than I am. Yeah. This is kind of intimidating. And he was like, yeah, so like on Tuesdays I go over to my cousin's house and we go down in the basement and we play D&D and it's our guys' night. And I was like,
in the
wow.
Basement.
I was like, wow, that is the most like stereotypical D&D game I've ever heard. And I was like, that's your thing. It's good. I have this thing where I don't like learning new games. It's a really weird. It's almost like a complex where I'm like, I just want to know how to play it already. Yeah.
For me, it's like I want to break open a game and I want to start playing.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to have to know and learn how to play this game. And watching from afar, D&D can be really intimidating because my Dustin and his group, they're very heavy on the roleplay side, and they get really into it. And it's not just like, oh, we walk down this corridor, cool, I check for traps, cool, yep, the door opens, there's a monster, roll for it. Like, it's not that black and white. It's very immersive, and they get so into it. And so I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just watch from afar, and that's cool, and you do your thing. And he would LARP on the weekends and stuff, and I'm like, yep, that's your thing. I'm not gonna encroach. I'm gonna let you have your things. I'm not gonna insert myself. And then our first or second Christmas together, he got his kids dice for Christmas. Yep. And he was like, all right. And my best friend had moved here from Texas, and so he was living with us at the time, and he was like, all right, if the kids are going to learn how to play D&D, so are you. And I was like, Nate, if I have to learn how to play D&D, so do you. And so I roped my best friend into it, and we learned how to play D&D, and here we are. Yeah. 3-ish years later. My first character, whom I love dearly, her name is Callista. She is a gold tiefling sorcerer with purple hair. And I cosplay her, and she's amazing. She's all about the fire spells. She's a total pyro. And I've had some other characters that I've loved, but not as much as I love her. Like, I have a Minotaur cleric that I play, but his intelligence is a 7. So he's not very bright, but he's still, he just wants to help people. Yeah. Which works for a cleric. But we also play a Star Wars RPG game. And we started playing Saga Edition and then converted to 5e. And so that they had started a game, we hosted it at our house, and all of our friends that play it are very, like, hardcore Star Wars nerds. They, like, commit to the characters. There is no, like, goofing around. It is a serious game. We have pledged our lives to this game for the past, like, 3 years. It's intense. And the first year of it, I was like, again, I don't want to learn how to play a new game. This seems like it would be really fun, but I'm just gonna watch from afar. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want to play. They look like they're having so much fun. And so I created a character. Her name is Ava. and we play in the KOTOR era. So it's very fun. It's very, like, open. There's a lot of different stuff we can do. But she's a former Sith assassin, and she's kind of reformed from that and just kind of going about her life and stuff. And we have our crew. It's called the Starbolt crew. Even though we've been through 2 Starbolt ships, both are no more because they've crashed and burned. And, like, we've had our campaign has been broken up into episodes. So we're on episode 3 right now. And so not everyone is playing the original characters that they played back in episode 1.
Yeah.
And so it's been really cool to see, like, everyone's evolution. One of our guys, he started as a Jedi, and now he's playing a Mandalorian. And I think he loves his Mandalorian a lot more.
That sounds fun.
And there's a lot of stuff. Our DM is amazing. The amount of writing and world building he's put into this is insane. He'll just be like, yeah, this is happening, and we're just like, all right, add that to the list of the stuff that we have to do. But it's so, you don't feel like you're sitting at the kitchen table for 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, playing a game. You really feel like it's so emotionally involved that we're just like, when can we play Starbolt next? Like, we're junkies on this game because it's so good.
Yeah.
And, like, I love my character. I'm happy she survived.
Yeah.
I'm hoping she never dies because I don't know who else I would play because I love her so much.
It's so, like, you get really attached to some of your characters sometimes because, like, I'm in a campaign right now. We had a session recently where it lasted, like, way longer than it should have. Like, it's like 11 p.m. Like, we start usually around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I look down at the clock, and it's, like, after 11. I'm like, I don't want to call this short, but I want to go to bed.
Right.
And so it's like, and you know, like, my DM is excellent. All the people I play with are excellent. It's
That's
really
awesome.
fun. And then, like, I've been in several different campaigns run by several different people, and they've all been really fun. But, like, I remember getting introduced to D&D at my friend's wedding.
Okay, that's a very
So,
odd place
like,
to get
my
introduced.
friends from college were getting married. It was after I graduated, and so I came into town for their wedding, and I was staying with them at their house, and the night before, they wanted to get our group of friends from college back together, and they're like, let's play D&D, and I'm like, I don't know anything about D&D. Like, I've heard about D&D, I just don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And so, like, they helped me make a character. It was like a half-elf, I want to say rogue or ranger. I think it was a ranger. And we played, like, a quick 2-hour session or so, like, one dungeon thing.
Yeah.
And my character was just, like, really horrible and just kept springing traps, and so the DM was trying to kill her off, and I was just like,
oh no,
you can't kill me.
Oh no.
But that was my first experience, and then, like, I didn't really get into it at first, and then, like, later I was part of another campaign, but I had to end it early because of my job was too draining.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough time to dedicate to it, which was unfortunate because, like, that was a really fun campaign. And then it's funny because, like, our timelines are very similar. It was, like, about 4 years ago my boyfriend and I started dating. And, like, that was when I was going through a really rough time. Like, earlier in that year, I went through a breakup where my previous relationship of 4 years ended really abruptly and really heavily, and I was super depressed, like, most of the year, most of the rest of the year. And my current boyfriend, who is amazing, and, like, he was,
I know, I got to
fun.
meet him downstairs, and he's so sweet.
He's the best, and, you know, like, another humble brag, but, but, you know, I knew him for a couple of years before the breakup happened, and I met him when I first moved here and was looking for game shops, and I landed at Gigabytes, and he was working in the kitchen. He was wearing a Leopold's apron, which, if anybody is from Savannah or has lived in Savannah or has been to Savannah, you know what Leopold's is. It's a really popular ice cream shop.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, have you been to Leopold's? And he's like, yeah, I used to work there. I'm like, oh, did you live in Savannah? And he's like, yeah, I went to SCAD. I'm like, what was your major? And he's like, sequential art. I'm like, no way.
What?
You went to SCAD for sequential art? When did you go? And he like listed off the dates. I'm like, I was there.
Oh my gosh.
You and I went to SCAD for sequential art at the same time.
Wow.
We never met until now. And so like we became really good friends and like had game nights together and stuff like that, hung out a lot. And then my breakup happened, and he dropped everything to help me.
Aww.
When I was like really super depressed. He would like come over and cook meals for me because I was so sad I couldn't make my own meals. I was a mess. And so he was like, why don't you hang out with me and my friends, because like I completely shut down and wasn't socializing.
Yeah.
And he's like, come over to my friend's house. We're gonna play some D&D. I think you would enjoy it. And so like he got me in their session, and I learned that you can play as a bird person.
Yes.
And I freaking love birds. Anybody who knows me knows that I am all about birds. And
I was about to say, I
so
feel
much.
like that's maybe where Feather came from.
Yeah.
So
Feather is an Aarakocra, and like when I learned that you can play as an Aarakocra, a bird person, I was so excited. And so I made this owl.
Aarakocras are so cute.
I made an owl druid who could shapeshift, and she would like only ever shapeshift into another owl.
Oh my gosh.
And so she would just like be this big owl person, and then she would shapeshift into a little owl.
Oh my gosh.
And she was the most fun to play, but like
That's awesome.
I feel like I play druid a lot, druid or ranger, because like I love animal companions.
Yeah. I was about to say, the little bit that I've gotten to know you, those seem like the natural classes.
Yeah. I'm a bit predictable, but like right now I'm playing in a homebrew campaign where I am a Tengu, which is an offshoot of Kenkus.
Okay.
But they can speak, and they have like little vestigial wings.
Okay.
And so their name is Addie.
For those that don't want to play a Kenku, but want to play a Kenku and not have to deal with all the Kenku.
I want to play a Kenku at some point, but
that's a lot of planning.
Yeah, it's a lot to prepare for.
Yes, because Kenkus can only repeat something they've heard before.
You can only mimic.
Yes.
And so I wanted to do a Kenku but like only use soundboards.
Yes.
Like an air horn or like memes, popular memes. But
that's amazing.
But so I'm playing this Tengu who is a wizard, and I finally got a hold of a bag of tricks, and I'm just having a blast.
Yes.
Just throwing animals out of this bag at people.
Oh my gosh.
And this poor Tengu, she's like, I keep like misgendering my own character. They're non-binary. And I keep forgetting, like, I'm not the character. I'm not non-binary, but my character is. That's the real fun, I think. It's like getting into your character's persona, and like having to get into their mindset, because like my character leans on the chaotic side.
Yep.
I am not a chaotic person.
Most of my characters are chaotic good, because I am also chaotic good. But that's like my Star Wars character with a lot of her backstory stuff coming up. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like, but I want to go explore these like ties back to the dark side that she has.
Mm-hmm.
Ava probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But Ashley really wants to know.
Like I wouldn't go rushing into things.
Yeah.
But my character definitely does.
Yeah. For sure.
And it's just a blast, like getting to get so into that and like immerse yourself in something for a few hours and forget about
escape
your real life for a little bit.
Well, and I've talked about this with another guest. There's a level of escapism I feel like we crave as creatives and artistic people that we find through D&D and stuff. Yeah. Whereas like you go to theater and stuff and you watch and you get immersed, especially if it's like really good. But there's that level of I get to be this character and I can be as immersed as I want. And when the storytelling and the role playing and everything just all aligns correctly, and you can just forget you're at your kitchen table for a couple hours, you're just like, but I don't want this to end. I want to keep playing. I want to keep.
Can't wait for the next session.
I know, and it's like, do you ever like find a really good, especially one of those like obscure TV shows, and then you just obsess over it, and you're like, I have to watch all of the episodes right now. It's so good. Oh my gosh. And you just kind of forget for a couple hours that you're just...
I was like that with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, I had pushed back on all of my friends who told me about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah. And I was like, I don't watch TV shows. Yeah. That's not my thing. I don't like it. Yeah. And I don't like the hype behind it. I don't like being told, oh, it's the greatest thing, you should watch it. I just don't like that. But when I started freelancing, I'm like, I am running quickly out of shows to binge on my lunch break. Yep. So I started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I'm not, this is going to turn a lot of people off. This is going to be like hot button, like, I don't like Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg is a very particular cup of tea.
Yeah, and he's not my cup of tea.
And that's okay.
But in the show, I absolutely love his character.
Yeah.
And I fell quickly in love with all of the characters. Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely an Amy. Yeah. I'm absolutely with like a little sprinkle of Rosa. Yeah. But like, I got so immersed in the show, and I like binged it over the course of maybe a couple months. Yeah. And I reached the end of it on Hulu, and I was like, No, there has to be more. What do I do? What do I do? Yeah. And so, like, I'm, like, scrambling for all of these other shows to watch, and somebody will recommend a show, I'm like, great. And so I, like, binge through it, and I'm like, this is only 8 episodes. Right. Why would you do this to me?
So, I found this one show on, was it Amazon Prime? It's called The Last Tycoon, and it's Matt Bomer and Kelsey Grammer. And it's old Hollywood in like the 40s, and like the hype of all the movie studios and like all of them like competing against each other and stuff like that. And I love stuff like that. I love period pieces. I love like old Hollywood stuff. And so this was like, this is my cup of tea. And it was only one season. It was only like maybe 10 episodes, and I'm just like, are we gonna get any more of this? Because I need more. Yeah. I need more of this right now. So, but I love finding a good show to just dive into.
Yeah, like I watched through The Watchmen, and then found out that they aren't making a second season. So sad.
Oh yeah, no, I did hear that.
And then I binged through Raising Dion, which is an amazing piece of
that was filmed here.
Like. Yeah. I noticed that. I was like, oh, that's it. I know the places they're talking about. That's so cool. but yeah, so I loved Raising Dion because, like, it's a different kind of sci-fi, you know, like, it's a slice of life sci-fi. Yeah. And that's really cool to me. And what am I watching now? I don't even remember
I just finished the 3rd season of Sabrina.
I have been told really good things about that.
It's
and like
really good.
I have like a growing list of things that people are recommending to me, and I'm like, okay.
No, if you like the witchy stuff, Sabrina is very.
Yeah, I'm told it's very good.
Yes. So and see, like I went back and I watched the '90s Sabrina in prep for when The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina came out. And I'm glad I did because
That's
it's so drastically different.
Yeah.
But I love them both so
amazing.
much.
Right now, and like one of my favorite things to do too is watch through series that I've already watched with a friend who is new to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, my friend is watching Steven Universe
for
the first time, and I am a huge Steven Universe fan. Like I don't know if you saw my
Oh,
Fusion
I kind
poster.
of saw it in a glance.
There's an event that I'm doing, not this weekend but next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Steven Universe themed.
Ooh.
It's at the bakery, and I'm really excited for it. I don't know when this podcast is going to be released, but like if people get a chance to go, it's going to be so cool. There are going to be a lot of really great artists there selling Steven Universe stuff, and I'm really excited. But
you said when was this?
February 15th.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I don't know if the timeline will line up. But
I don't know.
like, when the show first came out, I started watching it, and I was just like so in love with all of them. I'm like, Pearl, I am Pearl, and so like I cosplay as Pearl a lot.
Love that.
All the different iterations, like all of her different costumes and stuff. And so we're just finishing up season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Watching this with my friend, and I'm like, we get to the big episodes, and I'm just like,
are you?
And like tears are running down their face, and I'm like,
yes, feel the emotions.
I'm like, yeah, now you know.
Have you watched with anybody yet, and they not reacted the way you want them to react?
There have definitely been times when I've like watched movies that I'm passionate about with people, and I'm like, why can't you see this?
Right?
Like, I'm like looking at them expectantly, and they're just like, oh yeah, I saw that. Like, oh, my ex made me so mad because like he would always call out what would happen before it even happened in a movie.
I hate people that do that.
And he's like, oh, I saw that coming a mile away. I'm like, oh,
can't you just enjoy things, please?
Just let me have that.
Right.
But yeah, like there have definitely been those times, and I just have to understand that like that's not their thing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just have to like cross them off the list.
These are the people that's fun to watch things with. These are the people that ruin things as we watch them.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, like I get really into a lot of shows, and like I have to pick and choose my fandoms really carefully, otherwise I'll start like creating fan art of all of these different things, and I have to rein it in. I feel like I don't have time for all of these. But like I also cosplay when I can, and that's a thing that I have to rein in on as well, because I really want to go all out.
Yeah.
I don't have the budget, and I don't have the expertise, and I don't have the time. And
who's your favorite character to cosplay?
I think Pearl. Like Pearl she's easy.
Yeah.
It's a very comfortable costume, and I am like absolutely 100% that character.
Yeah.
And so when I put on the costume, it's so easy for me to get into the character.
Yeah.
Now, like that being said, I will go to cons as Pearl sometimes and like get really aggressive amethyst cosplayers that will come up to me and do the annoying amethyst things.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, I just have to like take a deep breath and like
they think
it's like cute, but
it's like the Deadpool cosplayers that think it's funny to do Deadpool things.
Yeah.
It's like it's not that cute.
Yeah, and I think people need to learn boundaries exist still when you are cosplaying.
Yes.
Just because you're dressed as a character doesn't mean you want to play as that character. But another recent cosplay I did, which was really super fun, was my first group cosplay.
Yeah.
And my friends and I dressed as I can't remember the name of the illustrator, but she did a series of evolutions as like goddesses.
Ooh.
And I feel awful because I always like to give credit where credit is due. But if you Google evolution goddess, you'll be able to find her.
I feel like we should look it up like right
yeah,
now.
like
Because I feel like I know what you're talking about.
hold on.
You said EV.
Yeah, these. So this is
Ooh, those are gorgeous.
DeviantArt, Little Paper Forest on DeviantArt. I don't know what their Instagram handle is, but
Little Paper Forest.
Yeah.
On, you said DeviantArt?
Yeah. So
I
gorgeous.
love that DeviantArt is still a thing.
I don't use it anymore. But it is.
But
it
I love
is still
that
alive.
It's still alive in some capacity and kicking just a little bit.
But yeah, so like my friends and I got together and cosplayed as
that's amazing.
Those characters, and I was Sylveon.
Love.
And oh my god, it was so great because like I had this big poofy wig, which was heavy as all get out. Yeah. But I looked fabulous, and
how can you not look fabulous in that?
It was so great. And we had a photo shoot, like an official photo shoot, and the photos all look amazing. But
that's so cool.
While we were prepping for the photo shoot, we're standing out there, and all of these kids would come up to me specifically and be like, "Are you a princess?" And I'm like,
"Yes, I'm an Eevee princess.
Whatever you want me to be, you're adorable." And that's like, it's cosplaying is also very satisfying to me. Like, it's fulfilling seeing, like, because I like to cosplay, kind of like lesser known, more unpopular characters, like niche characters. Like, Pearl is definitely not niche, but like I feel like there isn't a huge popularity for Pearl. A lot of people probably find her obnoxious and uptight. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's me. I am Pearl. But like, for example, I did, when was it? Was it 1 year or 2 years ago? I went to Dragon Con as the different evolutions of Torchic.
Okay.
Because Torchic is my favorite. It's my baby. I love Torchic with a passion. Like, I love fire starters.
Yeah.
And I love birds. And Torchic is just cool.
Yeah.
Torchic is adorable. And then Combusken's okay. Nobody really likes Combusken that much, but I still like that is crazy fire chicken. But
is there really like a middle evolution that people really like?
There are some.
I feel like the middle evolution is that awkward, like, growing stage.
The teenage phase.
Yeah. Like, between Charmander and Charizard. Do we really like Charmeleon?
I'm okay with Charmeleon.
I mean, he's cute, but he's not as cute as Charmander or as badass as Charizard.
Yeah, that's fair. But
he's the
I still like
angsty teenage version of Charmander.
But so yeah, I did Torchic one day, Combusken the next day, and then I was Blaziken the following day. But I did like Gajinka for him, so like I had a really cute little orange sundress and a big old yellow bow for Torchic.
That's so awesome.
And I was just like really cutesy. And then for Combusken, I did like urban gangster, like,
oh my gosh,
with a hoodie, and like I always had I had the beanie cap, but with like a big palm on top.
Oh my gosh.
And like parachute pants and high tops.
Yes.
And
I'm sure that's your comfiest cosplay to date.
It was very comfortable. And then Blaziken, I don't have the mask here. I had a mask specially made that I like clipped to the side of my wig, like just kind of on top of my head. I had a long blonde wig and like one of those one-piece bodysuit things with like the flare legs.
Yeah.
And there was one guy, I found a vest too, a big furry vest.
Oh my gosh.
To wear. That was great. Yes. It was perfect. And then this one guy recognized me as Blaziken, and he squealed.
Oh my gosh.
And just like, he couldn't contain himself. He's like, Blaziken! Oh my god! And like started getting really emotional. And I'm like, hi.
Thanks for knowing who I am.
Yeah, because it's like when you're a Gajinka, it's like it's sometimes hit or miss. Like people will either recognize you immediately or they don't.
Yeah.
So that was super fun.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm not like a pro cosplayer or anything. I don't get really super into it. I don't dump like $300 into a costume or anything like that.
There's only one costume that I've like actually dumped like a very large amount of money into, and that's my recent Batgirl. But it's a version that no one else does. It's she had Sideshow Collectibles released a statue of her in a gray with like the Kevlar pieces protecting like under her arms, and there was all this line work across the abs, and it's a gorgeous suit, and I was just like, I have to, but I was like, this is not a costume that I can make myself. Mm-hmm. It's just not. And so I commissioned the fabulous Castle Corsetry to make it for me, and she did this costume so much justice, and I am so happy with it. And it's
oh my goodness,
it's so intense. That's but I'm just amazing. Kind of like, no one else is gonna. This is like a hidden gem of a costume.
Yeah.
No one else is gonna do this one.
But it's still recognizable. Like that's definitely it's Batgirl.
But that's the statue. Oh, that's so cool. And I was just like, I love it. I have to. I can either buy the statue, or I can buy the costume because they were about the same price. Yeah. And I was like, I just want to be this statue.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool though.
So, but I love if I'm gonna do a more popular character, I like doing the more obscure version, of that character. So that
like when I cosplay Pearl, sometimes I go as the casual mom Pearl, like where she goes to the rock concert with Steven and wears the jean jacket or or like the leather jacket and like her pants are rolled up and everything. Yeah, and so like that's really fun. But yeah, like doing the more obscure stuff just to see people's reactions who recognize it is really really fun. I love it.
Because there's a part of you that's like, I want people to know who I am. But then you're like, but I want those like really hardcore ones to know. Mm-hmm. And that's the more satisfying.
Absolutely.
So, oh my gosh, we've been talking for so long.
An hour and a half.
Yeah. Goodness. So where can we find you across the internet?
Oh, lots of places. Like I said, I don't really do DeviantArt anymore. I'm sure it's still up there somewhere in the ether, but I haven't had a chance
It's like all of our MySpaces. All of our MySpaces are still technically there.
And
but
Zynga.
Yes.
Yeah. Find me on Zynga. No, please don't find me on Zynga. You don't want to see any of that. It was awful. But I'm really active on Instagram and Facebook mostly. So Instagram is M_is_a_burb.
M like E-M?
E-M-I-S.
E-M for Emily.
B-I-R-B. That's important. It's not bird, it's burb.
Burb. I will be posting all of the social handles with the episode so that people know how it's spelled.
And then
M_is_a_burb on Instagram.
Facebook is facebook.com/EJS Creations Art.
Perfect.
And I think I have links to like all my other sites. Like I have a website that's just basically a portfolio, and then I have Tumblr. But if you want to buy anything, like any of my plethora of magnet sets, my Etsy is EJS Creations Art as well.
Love.
So
we will definitely.
I'm planning a lot of new magnet sets this year, so
yay.
I'm really excited for that.
And will you be around at conventions this year?
Yes, I will be. I'm planning. So I'm doing a lot more events as myself as EJS Creations locally. Okay. So like I said, I've got the Crystal Gems Art Show this month.
Perfect.
And next month I will be at Ironmonger Brewery.
Okay.
So I do a lot of stuff at breweries as well because they have like little cutesy art shows. It's really fun. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to do at least one of those a month. And then we are planning on being at MomoCon. We've already arranged for that.
Perfect.
So
as your duo group.
Yes, so we will be at MomoCon again as Flint and Feather, and we're really excited. And this is kind of a little plug for Flint and Feather, which you can also find on Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect.
But we are planning to release a new set of pins, and this is the first like public announcement.
Ooh,
so,
inside scoop.
If this comes out before Valentine's Day, the Kickstarter launches on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Because it's such a big undertaking, and we have to do all of these pins at once. Otherwise, it doesn't work for us. Like we just don't want to do sets of them.
Right.
Because we are doing Pride alignment pins.
Okay. That's awesome.
We're making changes to the original pins, the character alignment pins. So we're updating those to be how we kind of originally envisioned them, because we had some difficulties with our manufacturer. Oh. We still love the ones that we got. Yeah. But the colors are more muted than we thought. Yeah. So we want to brighten those up a little bit. Okay. And so we're getting new sets of those made, and then we are also adding more bottom sets. So like, how there's a top pin and then there's a bottom pin, and the tops are lawful, neutral, or chaotic, and then you can tag on your evil, good, or neutral, but you can also tack on bi, gay, lesbian.
Oh my gosh.
So you could be like chaotic bi, or neutral ace, or
neutral gay,
like all this sort
chaotic
of stuff.
Gay.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, and it was something that we have planned
amazing
very early on.
That's so cool.
But we just didn't have the funds, and we didn't know. We wanted to kind of wait to release it to see how good the reception was on the other pins, and the reception was amazing on them. We're already like almost sold out of like a couple of them. Okay. And which blows my mind. But we don't even have an Etsy shop yet for that, so we're working on getting the Etsy shop up this week. Perfect. And then we're going to launch the Kickstarter on February 14th, and hopefully get that completely funded.
And will it run for the typical month?
Yeah, it's going to run for a month.
Okay, so perfect.
We plan on ending it on March 13th. Okay. And we do have some plans for if we reach certain numbers, as Kickstarters do, but we have like a new set of 12 designs. Okay. In the ones that we want to do, and then hopefully, if it's successful enough, we can do some additional designs that we kind of brainstormed recently as well. Okay, perfect. But we're working on getting that all set up, and it's really exciting. Awesome. And I'm hoping that it goes well, because I really want to make these.
I hope it is exponentially like the greatest Kickstarter to ever happen. Yeah. Because I want this out in the world.
We want it out in the world. Like, again, it's like that thing where we just want to make other people's lives better.
Yes, and I feel like
it's
now is a great time for that, and I feel like people are going to jump on it and eat it up, and they're going to love it, and it's going to be so successful.
And it's going to be insane, because we're trying to have all of them done by MomoCon. So
oh my gosh.
We can have them for sale.
But yeah, exactly. I was about to ask if you were going to try and have some for sale at MomoCon.
That's our big goal.
Cool.
So we're like rushing to
I will make sure that this comes out before the Kickstarter ends. That way,
that'd be great.
That way we can get some people over to the Kickstarter,
because we really want to make these pins.
Absolutely, like, so I want you to make these pins. These pins are so cool, and I feel like the nerd community is going to eat these up. Yeah. So
and. I don't, like, I'm trying to, like, keep it together. Yeah. Because, like, we got such a great reception when we started pitching the idea to people at MomoCon last year. And I'm, like, confident it's going to do well. Yeah. But like,
you also want to
it could not, and that's fine. If we fail, it's okay.
We're not going to think like that.
But, yeah.
We're going to be super confident that everyone is going to want these pins. Everyone is going to support the Kickstarter, and y'all are going to, like, make all the money to make all the pins, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
It'll be really cool.
Yes,
Even
I'm
if
so
we
excited.
even if we just make like half of them, that would be great.
So, cool. Is there anywhere else? And like I said, I'll make sure to link all of this stuff. I'll make sure to grab the Kickstarter link from you when we post the episode.
I'm on Twitter. Yeah, I'm not like super active on Twitter, but like I post to Instagram and then like auto post to all of the other platforms. Cool. So like Instagram is probably the best place to follow me.
Cool.
And then of course follow my Etsy shop because that's
and go buy all of the art.
Please
it's so cute.
Please do.
It's
I want to get rid of some of the stock so I can make room for more stuff.
Yes, and we will. I know I'll see you at MomoCon.
Yes,
so
you will.
We will make sure to stop by the booth and see you and give you a hug and all of that.
Yay!
So,
and on that subject, like if you go to MomoCon, you may see some of my art on a big old wall for a photo op. So
that's exciting.
If you see a big wall that has like a pair of wings on it that you can take your picture in front of. Yeah, that's me.
Ooh, that's so exciting. So. All of the things are happening for you, and I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, it's really thrilling. So.
Oh, you must just be like, all of the things are happening.
Yeah, it's surreal to me. Like,
that's
to be
awesome.
honest, like, sometimes I get that imposter syndrome, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting I'm waiting for the axe to drop, you know?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for
something but you deserve it. Your art is seriously amazing. I wish you and Flint and Feather and all of that to have another successful MomoCon, another successful Kickstarter, a successful Kickstarter, and I wish all the best for you.
Oh, thank you.
So
this was so much fun.
I'm glad you had fun. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
And thanks to
Geek Grind for the delicious cold brew coffee.
Very good coffee.
So I think I might need another cup.
Yeah.
So.
I think I'm usually good with one cup.
Like I said, I run coffee and IV, so. But awesome. So we're going to sign off and we will see everyone next time.
Thank you so much for listening to Nerdspresso. Your support means so much to us. Make sure you hit your like, follow, subscribe, and download buttons so that you're ready as soon as new episodes hit. You can also support us on Patreon and engage in giveaways, guest suggestions, early episode releases, and more. By taking a small moment to support us, you give us the ability to bring you a better podcast. We'll see you next week.